Welcome back, Weebs and Gamers. This is AG here, back with another deck profile. This will be my third and probably final Hololive deck, or at least for a little while. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's going to be more sets in the future for this series, and I do love Hololive. I do want to make more decks for it, but for now, I think I'm just going to call it here, and just this is my third deck profile. Has the Marine Finisher build, and it is the kind of Gen 5 memory base build with the Polka early play. So this is the build that I prefer. I tried Kanata Marine. I didn't really like it as much. It is good when it goes off, but I just don't really like having to constantly try to cycle like a Stock Soul. I also just don't really like playing Stock Soul. This is also the deck that I chose to play for the WGP Japanese online qualifying event. I did go 4-0 at the start, but then I unfortunately lost the last two rounds. So I think I got like 9th or 10th, which is very unfortunate. But it was still fun. It was a fun day. But for now, this is the deck profile. So first we have 4 of the Laplace card. So this is basically just a reprint of the Aqua level 0 common. It is pretty expensive, but it's a very good card, and in this deck, you don't need blue at all, pretty much, so having this be yellow instead is very important. And yeah, it's just super good card, 3,500 if it's in center, and then when it's sent to waiting room, you can pay one, clock one from waiting room, and then check top 2 and add both to hand if they're Hololive characters, so lets you just plus really well. Next we have 4 of the Matsuri Brainstorm. So this Brainstorm is basically the only Brainstorm I play in the entire deck, because this is the only card that I want in my back row at all times. Like, preferably for the whole game, I just want to have double Matsuri Brainstorm in the back row, so because not only is she just a Brainstorm, but you can also just rest her to give a level 1 or higher plus 1,500. So not only is this just good power pumps, but it also procs the Mel card, which is a really broken card that you try to reuse as much as possible. So yeah, just super solid Brainstorm. Can't really complain at all about that. Next we have this is sort of the memory package. So we have 3 of this Nene. So when she's sent to waiting, or when she's reversed, I should say, you can just send her to waiting room, or to memory for free if you have 2 or less memory. So once you have more than that, you can't use it, but it's fine. Usually, because this deck, you just require 3 different named characters in your waiting room, or in your memory. So as long as you can get one of this, one of the other one, and something else from the Polka, then it's you're basically good to go. And any extra after that is basically just for compression point. Like, there's no real need for it, but if you manage to get it, then it's just good. But oh, and she's also a just pay 1, ditch 1, look at top 3, take a card. So good card. And next we have the other memory card. So this is the Botan. So she is just a startup, pay 1, send her to memory, and you get to look at top 3 and take a character, add it to your hand. So super solid card. They can't really interact with this in any way, because it's just start up during your turn. You just do it. So you pretty much can always get this one for sure. And then yeah, and then moving on, we have 3 of this Shion Bomb. So this card is a card that's gaining in popularity quite a bit here. I've noticed in recent builds. It's also just a common. Hololive has some pretty good common cards, I would say. So she's just a normal bottom deck bomb for level 0s, but she also has the effect of come and play check top, and if it's a level 1 or higher Hololive character, then you can -1 level one of your opponent's front row characters. So against like standby matchup, if they stand by like a 1/1 turn 1, you can just play this and potentially just -1 level their 1/1 and then bomb it with a level 0. So that's pretty broken if you manage to get it off. But again, it is a top check. You have to successfully hit it, so you could whiff on it. But yeah, you can high roll with that card pretty good. And also just the top check is actually very relevant for certain effects. And then last level 0 is just one of this Choco. So you just free mill 3 and then pay 1, ditch 1, salvage a character. So just good consistency card. And one thing to note, I am actually not playing any Climax Swappers in this deck. Normally I always say in a lot of my deck profiles to always play a Climax Swapper, at least one. But in this deck I'm actually not playing any because, solely pretty much just because my level 1 game is already like really good to the point where like I don't really need to get Korone off. Like, you know, some decks you might play like your main level 1 is just 4 of your combo, and then like you might play like 1 or 2 other random cards, but that's about it. But this deck you actually play like a ton of different other level 1s besides just your Korone combo. So even if you whiff Korone combo, it's not that big of a deal a lot of the time. You usually just want to get at least the Polka off to summon something so you could send it to memory. So that's 2 attackers right there, and then your third attacker can just be whatever you happen to have otherwise. And then also for level 3, because Marine just digs 3 every time you play one. So usually if you don't have gate, you can just like dig 6 or dig 9, whatever you want, and you can probably find a gate, right? So I've never really had a problem with not playing a Climax swap in this deck, but you definitely could if you want to. So moving on to level 1, we have 4 of the aforementioned Korone level 1. So you just go with choice, and she's basically just better honor verse search, because you can assign it to anywhere. So you can stack all 3 onto one lane if you want. So that way you can just guaranteed get a reverse off and just like search 3 afterwards. That's preferably what you want, because then you better compression. But you know, it depends. You might only get like have one in play or whatever, and you can just assign it to somewhere else if you want, which is pretty cool. And then we have 3 of the Polka. So this card's really broken in this deck. These type of cards I feel are pretty broken already, but then in specific decks like the old Slime deck and as well as this deck, where it not only is it just like a plus, but you also benefit from getting the certain cards in memory, then it just becomes like even better than it already is. And then so basically this just allows you to get any card in your waiting room to your memory, which counts as any name you want. So as long as you get one of the Nene, one of the Botan, and then anything with this, then you're good to go. I should note too, I forgot to mention this at the level 0, that I'm not playing any of that other Nene level 0. That's like pay 1 to rest it and then it goes to memory next turn. I just think that card's not very good. And it's also kind of like unnecessary when you have like so many other memory options and just like good level 0s, that I just feel playing like a 500 character that just like, you know, just goes to memory for no reason, like, and doesn't really do anything else, isn't really that good of a card. And also you can really play around that card. You can just like side it or bomb it or whatever you want, and it just like does nothing. So yeah, don't really like that card. Next we have this Mel card. So this card is also pretty broken. She's on attack, or sorry, you have to use a startup first, and then she gains this ability, which is plus 1500, and on attack reveal top. If it's level 1 or higher, you can put it to stock. So this is what the top checks are for. Basically, you can top check to see for this effect, and yeah, it just gets you like extra stock like all throughout the game. You can reborn it with Polka and then use it that way, or you can, and you always have Matsuris to like proc it, so it's never really a problem. But I find actually sometimes I don't want to Polka this, just because I want to like use it more throughout the game. Whereas if you send one to memory, then you're only gonna have 1 left in your deck, which is why I've been considering bumping this up to 3 actually, just for that sole reason, where that I could memory 1 and then still have 2 in deck to just possibly use for the rest of the game. So have to see. I'm not sure if I want to bump that or not, but because I do like this next card as well, this Roboco card. So she's just a power pump on attack, give someone plus 15. And then also has the come and play ditch 1, reveal top. If it's level X or whatever its level is, you get to salvage that character. So this is just like another top check. It's a power pump for Korone, so you can get a reverse. So it's just like all around super good card. Don't really want to cut that if for a Mel, basically. I'd want to cut something else. Next we have the only level 2 I play is just one copy of the Hachima Rest Counter. This is kind of in there just for like high roll situations. Like if you're level 3 and you happen to trigger like a gate or choice or whatever and you have enough hand, you can just get it back. But I do find a lot of the time I'm not using this, but it's kind of just in there just in case, just for certain purposes, or against like certain decks, right? That might have like restand combos or something. And then moving on to level 3, so we have quite a bit of level 3s in this deck. So we have 4 copies of the Marine level 3, of course. This card's broken, so good. Basically just is a 1 cost to play card, assuming you have 2 costs to play it in the first place, because she just replaces one of her cost stock for free. But you do have to sack a character when you play her, but usually it's not too bad. You can just play like some 0, or if you have a Matsuri in back row, you can just sack that, because once you're level 3, having Brainstorms in back is, you know, not really as helpful. Like, you're pretty much just going for game anyway, so yep. Super broken card, just on attack, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 2, gains 2k. Yeah, super good card. Doesn't heal, actually, so you do want to play sort of like a supplementary, like really good healer to combo with her. So some people play the Kanata, of course. She's just really good early play heal. But I decided to play the Polka package, because she does go. So this is the payoff for the memory, basically. So once you have 3 different named characters in your memory, she just has early play all the time, no matter what. So it just makes her really consistent. Like, you don't have to have 2 or less climaxes. You don't have to have like 4 more stage, whatever. You can just, if you have the 3 memory, boom, you can just play her all the time. Reminds me of like the old Nisekoi early play. So just super good. Just come and play heal. Just gets 1,000 for if you have like 2 or more, whatever. So just good, consistent card. And then another early play is this Watame. So she's like a Slayer card. So she's come and play top check. If it's Hololive, you can bottom deck any level 3 or lower your opponent has in the front row. So again, more top check helps with this effect, and this is also a top check to help for other effects. So just like more top checks equals good, you know. And yeah, just helps out dumb stuff your opponent might have. And then 1 copy of the Suse early play, just for more early plays. It is heal to stock, which is nice, and even though it's blue, she can just be played with no color requirement all the time. So you do play a little bit of blue in here, but again, it doesn't matter. This is the only high level blue card you play. And last level 3 is just 1 copy of the Matsuri stock swap. You know, pretty much if you're playing yellow, you gotta play this, at least 1 copy. And then finally, we have the 4 copies of the Korone Climax, and 4 copies of the Gate Climax. Yep. And that's about it, guys. See you around. This is EIJI. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.